10 o'clock. It's Tuesday. And so you know what that means. It's time for Try Bean on the 10 spot. And we're back. And I don't know if y'all have heard of this T or TEDx debt event that's going on, but it's going to be amazing. Coming up September 28th, soundboard at the Motor City Casino Hotel. Super excited about it. It's going to be a good time. I just saw all the emails go out to the speakers. And sadly, those who won't be speaking, that email went out too. That's never a fun day for folks. But the ones that got the nod, it's going to be a great show, people. It's going to be a great show. Tickets on sale now. Actually, TEDxDetroit.com. I read it backwards, so it's not T or TEDx debt. It's TEDxDetroit.com. You guys didn't know I could read backwards, did you? I didn't know I could read backwards, so that keeps it fun. So today, we're going to jump into a little different topic. We're going to hit 10 Beanisms that I use to create a more connected life. So why would you want to live a more connected life? Well, for starters, the more connected you are to you, the better results you're going to have in terms of showing up in life, right? You're going to be able to better relate to people. People are going to be more comfortable around you. You're going to kind of enhance that attractive factor, right? You're going to be a little more authentic. You'll probably be a little more vulnerable. You'll be a little more open to learning, to connecting, to being real with folks. And to me, most people, not all people, but most people really enjoy that, right? They like authentic people. They like people who are real, right? So, there's going to be some lessons about that. You're going to learn how to be more connected to to others, right? And let's face it, the world that we live in, we are better together, right? So the idea of building relationships faster, building the right relationships efficiently, taking the time to and be interested prior to worrying about being interesting, all good stuff. And then the last thing is you're going to be connected to opportunities that you need, whether it's a new job or position or promotion, or it's new business partners or new clients. All of these things are successful outcomes of being more connected. So, without a further ado, let's hit this little deck, man. Let's go take a look and see what we have here. I have a lot of things open. That's not really a surprise, I suppose. I always have a lot of things open. Are you a lot of tabs open kind of person? Drop in the comments and let me know. I'm very curious. Like this 16 or 18, this is low because I had to reboot the computer yesterday. So normally it's like 38 to 42. And unfortunately, I'm in each tab every single damn day. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, let's talk about this. So these are some of my personal favorite lessons. I first did this talk at might have been Push Leadership Lab. It might have been Life Better. Turns out, same thing, different name. But, it was a good time. It was something that I could share. So, in my heart of hearts, right? In like the depth of my soul, I want you to figure out what sets you just absolutely on fire. What makes you want to kick the sheets off the bed every single morning so that you're just running with reckless abandon after the things that just set your soul ablaze. And added bonus if it's going to help grow your business, right? So there's lots of things that we love to do that have nothing to do with work. But this slide in particular is basically that old lesson we've all heard 100 times before. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And for me, that's why I'm doing these on Tuesday mornings, man. I love the idea of presenting. I love sharing some wisdom, some opportunities, some knowledge, some things that are going to help people be better than they were yesterday. So this is an outlet for me to keep doing that. It's also good practice. It's good training. Maybe it gets recognized. Maybe somebody says, "Hey, I want to learn more from that guy." And if you do, trybean.com. Hey, look at me doing salesy stuff. This one, great for building relationships with multiple people. The idea that when you know two people need to meet or three people need to meet so they can find some level of mutual gain, be the connector, introduce them. You know, you want to do it subtly, send a text message to both of them or send an email to both of them. You want to be uber cool, grab them and go to lunch and introduce them at a lunch table. I had one of those meetings, thank you to Katie Taylor, just yesterday, where I got to meet somebody that is an awesome fit for my business. So, and hopefully I'm a good fit for their business too. So, really excited about this, grabbing a couple of people, go grab a drink, go grab a cookie, go grab a meal, go grab a golf round, whatever the case may be. But be the bridge, be the person that connects awesome people together. Ultimately, super duper important. These things, man, all day, every day. We're on this technology so much. I'm sitting here in front of my laptop. My mobile is not quite 17 inches away from me, and it's face up. So when it beeps, I'm like, oh, I gotta look at it. Listen, that's great. And I pride myself on responding quickly to things, but we got to remember that tools are there to support us, not completely overwhelm us. So if you're so tied to the phone every time it beeps or buzzes, and pro tip, turn the damn notifications and the ringer off. Manage when you check it. Don't let it manage when you check it, right? You got to be in charge of that. So make sure that you're using the tech in a way that serves you, right? You're the master, not the phone, not the social media apps, none of it. You are in charge. This picture is from 2013, hence the significantly darker mustache. Fortunately, my hairstyle, very, very similar. Yeah, crazy times. Look how tiny that phone is. It's like a little baby. I think that was the Android Galaxy 3, maybe. Maybe it was the 4. Anyway, integrate with tech, not let tech integrate with you. We're not robots. This is important, man. This is really important. We have this thing, and we all do, called circadian rhythms or biorhythms, and they fluctuate throughout the day, they fluctuate throughout the month. So there are certain times when we are going to be able to sit and stay focused at a longer period of time. There are certain times when we're going to need to be up and out and doing things. There are certain times when rest is going to be incredibly, incredibly important for us. And so you got to really listen to your body. You got to listen to your mind. You got to listen to your soul and understand where you are on that ride. Because what we don't want to be doing is spending time doing high energy work in a low energy state. And we certainly don't want to be doing low energy work in a high energy state. We don't want to waste it, right? We want to try and map it. So sit and contemplate where you are energy wise and use that to match the things you're doing. If you know that at 2 o'clock most days you have that crash that so many people talk about, don't schedule your most important calls or meetings at 2 o'clock. Duh. Pretty easy. If you're a morning person, do your hard work, do the things that require the energy in the morning, do your busy work, the stuff that you need to do to keep going in the afternoon. Pretty simple, but know when you do your best work. To be fair, this is right here. This is a photo of me doing some of my best work. There's a lot of thinking going on in that photo. I can't tell you what it was about, but there was a lot of it. Oh boy, this is the shortest and most powerful sentence you'll ever hear. Are you ready for it? No. That's it. That is the shortest and most powerful sentence you'll ever use. Why? Because when we can get comfortable saying no, that allows us the opportunity to focus on the things that really, really matter. I was talking to my good friend Charlie Wahlberg last night, and we were talking about music, and we were comparing notes that there's certain music that he and I both absolutely adore, and there's music that I love that he can't stand. Not uncommon. My point to him was, you probably didn't listen to it enough because you're quick to make a decision and slow to change your mind, which is a really good trait for an entrepreneur for the most part. You want to know where you're going, you want to know what you like, because if everything's a maybe, then what the hell actually gets done? But if you can be a little bit, well, I don't want to step on my next slide here, but there's a key word coming up here. It might be 2 slides away. But you got to be open, right? You got to be a little bit open. Sure, know what you want, know where you're going, but be flexible in the approach on how you get there. So, but when you know it's a no, then make it a no. I tell people all the time, if it isn't a hell yes for me right now, it's a no, right? I'm either all in or I need to be out. So just something to consider. Oh, all right. So it wasn't really the next slide. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. We'll have a callback. That's a good comedy term, right? You got to call back to an earlier moment and try and make a joke off the same joke. So this, man, find the people that are going down the same path that you are and run with them and support them and help them and connect them. These two fellows, speaking of Charlie Wahlberg, I didn't know he was going to show up in the next slide. Shows you how often I look at this deck. Charlie on the far, I don't know if you're looking at it, if it's your far right or the far left. Charlie's not wearing a hat. How about that? Sean Lee is wearing a hat with a D on it. I'm the other guy in the funny shirt. Sean and Charlie, I just introduced to someone for a speaking opportunity that I got invited to present at. And they said, hey, who else do you know? I know these two flipping dudes. Also introduced a couple other people that could be of value. Hi, Tina Marie. So I want to do that, right? I want to support those who are supporting me. I want to help those. If these guys call and have questions or ideas or things they want to bounce off, dude, the phone is here. Call, right? And that's true for most of you. If you want to just have a quick conversation about, hey, I'm thinking about this or that, call me 248-224-1326. Just because I'm old school and grew up in the 90s, 248-224-1326. And by grew up, I mean, in business, leaving voicemails, because we had to say it twice because caller ID wasn't a thing back then, people, and you always had to wait for someone to go get a pen. No one ever had a pen. Hey, I'm going to check my voicemails, but I'm not going to have anything to write them down with. Tisk tisk. One of my, not the favorite, but one of my all-time favorite Beanisms is this. Love the moments you live so you can live the moments you love. Listen, 52 years ago, or 52 years from now, when I finally cease living on this planet, I am going to look back on the pantheon that is my life. And I'm not going to necessarily remember August 15th, 2023, but I might remember a moment from today. Right? I've got a 3-hour coaching session this afternoon. I bet I remember some of the time I spent with Sue Justice 50 years from now because it'll be valuable, right? I might remember fighting with the dog on the way to let him out because it's annoying. I might remember, whatever my wife and I do later on because we try and have some fun together, right? So these are things that matter. It's the moments. And if we're stressing about the whole day, we're probably missing out. If we're worried about what happened yesterday, I can assure you you're missing out. And if we're spending too much time worrying about tomorrow, Same, right? That's why every guru on the planet is telling you the importance of staying present, because all we have right now. So if you get in the habit of looking at the moments and looking for the good things and looking at all the different things that are going on in every given moment and pick out those things you like, those things you love, you got a better chance at loving the moments you live so you can live the moments you love. This is fun for me, right? I talk about myself as a speaker, as a writer, and I don't think I'm necessarily either one of those things, but I can do both of them. Why? Because I'm tapped into a source of energy that flows through me and ends up on the page or flies out of my mouth. If you've ever seen me speak, you've no doubt heard me say, trust that the right words will fall out of your face at the right time. They do, if you're open to it. So for me, I'm just trying to be a vessel for the greater good. That's my entire mission here. How do I help you all be better at what you're doing? That's what I want to do. That's why I'm doing these things, right? But I look at it as whatever you consider God, even if you don't believe there is a God. I don't know how this last one works, but just be a vessel for that. Be a vessel for goodness happening around you. That's why one of my favorite things to share is leave people better than you found them. All right. I am a huge fan of developing a gratitude practice, right? Figure out the things that you're incredibly thankful for. People, opportunities, where you live, what you drive, what you wear, what you have. You know, it was about 14 years ago. I was sitting in my closet. It's a great start to a story. I was sitting in my closet and I was kind of mentally bitching about I don't have anything that I want to wear. And I had plenty to wear, right? I had lots of clothes, but none of them were new, none of them were fresh. And I was like frustrated by it. And I had the thought, new things aren't going to replace old things if there was no gratitude for the old things, right? We have to be grateful for what we have. And the universe is really cool about this. The more gratitude you show, the more you have to be grateful for. It's like the first step in receiving. So develop a gratitude practice. Maybe get a gratitude journal. Maybe take an old notebook or an app in your phone and just start writing the things that you're grateful for. Maybe you only come up with 15 or 20 things the first time, but know where that list is and keep adding to it. Maybe it's things that happened today. Maybe it's a sales call that went well. Maybe it's a conversation you had over lunch. Maybe it's something that inspired you into greatness. Maybe it's this video. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyway, develop a gratitude practice for sure. This last message kind of ties into the earlier one, and that is know who you are, right? Those 7 letters were on my license plate for a couple of years when I was driving around my Dodge Charger. And hell yeah, it had a Hemi. Why would you have a Charger without a Hemi? That being said, if you can figure out who you are, or once you figure out who you are, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll understand your role. You'll know who you're here to support, who to serve, and how you're going to spend time. So do the work. And here's the thing, the work isn't external, right? It's not outside of you, it's deep inside of you. And that's the work, man. Get quiet, ask questions. Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Who do I serve? What do I love? What do I care about? What do I want to be if I grow up? I no longer say when I grow up, because at 52 years old, I'm pretty sure that ship has sailed. Yes. All right. So, it's funny. I said I was going to call back and do something about this earlier conversation, but the slide's not in there, man. And the slide was be more flexible. Ultimately, it's the same idea I kind of shared. You want to be exceedingly definitive on where you're going. You want to know exactly where that point of attraction for you is. You need to be really flexible in how you get there, right? Because you may think you know exactly how to do it, and there may be a much better plan for you. So I'm going to stop this little sharing thing. Doom, ba-doom, doom, doom. Done sharing. Back over here, looking at this screen right here, right now. And I thank you for taking the time. And I don't know if you heard anything about this, but TEDx Detroit returns September 28th, 15th annual. Wow, one flipping five. That's pretty cool. Going to be a great event. Get your tickets, tedxdetroit.com. Until next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Have a good day. And if you need me, I'm right here. See ya.